I am Tim. Welcome to WatchYouWant.com. Thanks for logging on. Now, if like me, you're a child of the 90s, I'm going to take you back to the era of grunge, slasher films, and baseball strikes with a classic from back in the day. You're looking at the Panerai Luminor Early A-Series PAM 00001. This is one of the first of the post-Vendome line, folks. So let's get into what that means in just a moment. But first, a little bit of backstory. Panerai, originally a military contractor for the Italian Navy and Allied nations, has a history stretching back to 1936. Now, if you're Paneristi, a dyed-in-the-wool fan of the company, you already know this. But for the general audience, launched in 1993 as a civilian brand, Panerai had trouble gaining traction through its first couple of years of sales. Right up until about 1996, 1997, it was very much under the radar, and its breakout moment probably came in 1995, when Sylvester Stallone, filming the movie Daylight in Rome, discovered the now iconic Luminor model in a jeweler's in Rome. Now, he bought a couple, sold them to friends, had a couple hundred commissioned as bespoke pieces with his own dial. Very much in the Luminor shape, though. It became iconic when he started giving them out to friends, and they started disseminating through Hollywood circles, getting on camera, unsponsored appearances in major media, unsponsored celebrity endorsements. By about 1997, the word was out, and the Richemont Group of Switzerland, doing business as Vendome back in the day, purchased the company. And among the very few classic references to issue from Officine Panerai, now a luxury watch manufacturer, was the PAM 00001 that you see here. Now, the model was designed in the image of a case style designed in the late 1940s and produced during the 1950s, the early NATO years, for Italian amphibious combat forces and allied nations. The watch features the iconic device protecting the crown right here. This was part of the watch's early charm and appeal. Those used to Rolex's crowns with the crown guards and the tough-to-handle screw-downs, which can be hard to see if they're screwed down entirely before you dive or jump in a pool even, which can be difficult to use when your hands are wet, while you're wearing gloves, while you're greasy or sweaty. The crown guard solves that whole problem. It's also hard to jump into the water with this thing open because it's hard to miss. You can easily set the time and wind the watch just like so with the crown guard open, close it, now you're secure, plus you have a buffer against damage to the crown that'll stop anything that, well, won't take your hand off of your wrist entirely. Very tough. That was part of the Panerai appeal. So was the no-nonsense military aesthetic. Very simple, legibility is first and foremost. Ergonomics are important. It's virtually a cushion case. Really, take the lugs off, it's almost as wide as it is tall, top to bottom. It'll wear well on almost any wrist, and that was part of the appeal of the Panerai from the beginning. A big watch that looks cool on almost anyone, that is completely unpretentious, blue collar, elemental in its form, and universal in its appeal. It makes you smile, it's fun, and this, being a historic model, one of the early A-series, has a feature that's now been emulated by Panerai's brand managers and product planners. You can see the warmth of the indexes and numerals here. The tritium is actually, it's aged to almost like a rich bronze. Today they call that the dirty dial on modern references that feature colored lume to emulate that look. This is the real thing, folks. After 1998, only the Panerai Luminor submersibles used real tritium, and the original 44mm Luminor models that feature that actual tritium lume are exceptionally rare, and they don't all age evenly, so one will look a little different from the other, and a really great patina is an outstanding hook for collectors. This one has aged beautifully, and the dial is in outstanding condition. This is an early A-series, one of the first 1,500 PAM1s to come off the line. So if you want to return to the heady days of Paneristi.com, the early internet craze, back when Panerai's collectors were its own best spokespersons, back when Panerai itself didn't really even have a good website, when it had no coherent international ad campaigns, and all of the hype was of the grassroots variety. Sincere excitement, energy, enthusiasm, not marketing BS driven by corporate dollars, but word of mouth driven by true devotees. This early A-series PAM1 takes you back to it, and again, it has all those iconic Luminor features. Some will say all Panerai watches look the same, and while that's true to an extent, it also has a positive payoff, which is that a Panerai built in 1997, 1998 looks a lot like one built in 2014. the watch doesn't age, it doesn't date. Although you may have a gorgeous patina on the dial, the style itself doesn't really pass out of fashion. And because it's so functional, so legible, and so versatile, it's really the perfect watch for any time and any occasion. This style's endured since the 1950s. It's not going to go out of fashion next year. And the best thing about this one is it's in outstanding shape with impeccable provenance. Now, the great thing about Panerai watches is that you can swap out the strap, and new strap equals new watch. Strap swapping is like a subculture among Panaristi and even casual fans of the brand, and with a world of aftermarket options available, this is essentially an infinite number of watches. It's a robust diver, it's a delicate dressed watch, it's a dinner companion, it's something for hanging out with your buddies at a tailgate. Again, swap the strap, it's good if you are. So this example comes virtually indistinguishable from new. The case is in outstanding shape. The only telltale of its age is this patina dial, but comprehensive factory equipment is included, all of it depicted in high-res images on our website, watchyouwant.com. So log on and check out this PAM 00001 historic early A-series Panerai Luminor. I'm confident that when you take a look at this watch, see the comprehensive boxes, papers, all documentation, the factory manuals, original strap tool, accessory strap, you will be compelled. Whether you were around in the late 90s and were on the forefront of the Panaristi phenomenon, or you just want to learn what it was all about, Panerai is a timeless look, a timeless brand, and an attitude that doesn't age. So check out our website, watchyouwant.com, and this early A-series PAM 1. I'm confident you'll decide it's the watch you want.